Doing good.
Awesome. Awesome. Is it beautiful and windy out there where you are as well?
Yeah, the sun's out. Not sure how warm it is, though I haven't been outside today. But yeah, it's nice to see some good weather for a change.
That's awesome. You said
Yeah.
you're doing some renos in your basement?
Yeah, I've got just a friend over doing some electrical work for us. We're in one of the new builds in Brighton. And
Oh, nice.
yeah, he started at 9 and I wasn't expecting it to take this long, but he knows that I'm on call with you, so it's all good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, let's jump in right in then. What what can I help you with today? You got some exciting things. You got a business. You got some things, neat things happening there. Share a little bit about what's going on in your world right now.
Well, with COVID, of course, there's a lot that's been put on hold. But I guess the biggest thing with me is I'm currently studying osteopathy in Mississauga through the Southern Ontario College of Osteopaths. So that is like the biggest step that I've taken to further myself with my career. So besides that, though, I'm working for myself. I'm renting a space, and yeah, just looking to grow as a healthcare practitioner. So
Love it.
yeah.
Love it. And you were last we spoke. You were interested in some things around marketing and digital. Tell me a little bit
Oh yeah.
about that space and where you are right now with that.
Well, anything that I've done for marketing, I've kind of just taken a chance with. I don't really have a marketing background or anything. It's all been self-taught. So I guess I just be looking for different ways to put myself out there, ways that I might not even think would help me with my business. I do a lot through like Facebook, Instagram, a lot of networking with other professionals in the area as well. But besides that, um, I'm kind of just looking for more opinions on what I should do.
Awesome, awesome. Olivia, I'm thinking right now, who is your like ideal audience right now? Like who is your primary target when you talk about people that are dealing with you and coming to your business?
Oh boy. I mean, I work with people of all ages. Like, I've got clients that are 8 years old. I have clients that are in their 80s. So I don't really have an ideal audience. Most of my clients are coming to me for like maintenance therapy. So we've, corrected or treated a problem that they're having, and they're just looking to make sure that they don't go backwards. Um, so I can't really say that I have like a particular audience, if that makes sense, because
Yeah.
yeah, I'm treating people of all ages and ability. So I
Got you.
guess that would make it a little bit difficult to really target as well when I am marketing.
Out
Um,
of those like different age groups, do you find that there's like a more consistent demographic within that range, or is it pretty just kind of spread out across the board?
Honestly, it's spread out. Yeah, I mean,
Gotcha.
I've gotten busy through word of mouth. That is like one of my um, biggest successes when it comes to my business. That and Facebook. Like I said, Facebook has really been good for me. Like I'll promote myself at least once a month, and I'll just put my business card out there, and I get people messaging me through my business inbox and wanting to book. I guess that's kind of a simple way of marketing, but
Are you putting yourself out there like organically or through a paid advertising stream?
it's it's more through like paying Facebook. So
Okay.
I'll just get them
So
to like
ads.
my business page. Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. So you're doing that on Facebook, and then there was another one that you mentioned as well.
Instagram a little bit. I haven't had much luck with Instagram, to be honest. out of all the social media. And then I'll just promote over Google as well. My web designer gets all that set up for me. So again, we do that just like on a monthly basis.
Fantastic. So
Yeah.
you're doing, and so it's targeted ads, paid media spend again through
Yeah.
Google as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And how are you finding that that's going?
Really well. The Google has been great. Almost better than Facebook, actually. Um, I find I get a lot of new clients that way for sure. Where Facebook, it's a friend of a friend or somebody that I, saw years ago when I first started off as a practitioner, and they see my name and they reach out to me. They're like, oh, I remember you. Because I did work at a clinic before I was on my own. So
Got you.
yeah,
So Facebook's more so like referral marketing as far as like the people that are finding and working with you, and then Google's more like people you've never met before at all.
yeah, yeah,
Very
exactly.
cool. Very cool. And what's your like, and as far as like volume wise, like are you seeing actually like more people in the door as a result of Google versus Facebook? Is that a question that gets asked when people come in to deal with you, or is that something that you're measuring at all between the two platforms?
Yeah, like normally when I do have a new client, I ask where they heard about me. And a lot of the time it's, oh, your name popped up on Google, or I saw your ad on Facebook. Or once again, it's, I know of you through a friend. I was referred to you by so and so. So there is definitely a variety in how I've gotten myself busy. I can't just give one certain type of social media credit.
Got you. Got you.
Yeah.
And then capacity wise, like where are you in capacity in your business right now, and where are you hoping to go?
Well, I'm booking 2 months in advance. I am quite full with my clientele.
It's awesome.
Um, yeah, thank you. Thanks. But I am looking to eventually be a clinic owner. That is my next step, especially once I finish my grad school. So, promoting yourself is important. I don't just want to, become stagnant. I want to continue growing and, letting people see that I am developing myself as a healthcare practitioner. Yeah.
Right, right. So clinic owner, that's so you're talking like having a piece of real estate
Yeah.
that you're in. Awesome. Do you want to buy it or rent it? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, it'd be awesome to buy, but we'll see where life is at that point in time. Um, I will potentially have a business partner. I have been talking with somebody. So again, we'll just see what life throws our way. Um, I have talked to a couple other local healthcare professionals that have given me a little bit of advice, and they have said that renting is a good start. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
Uh, and you said that like you're booked 2 months out. Like that's amazing, first and foremost. So I mean, hats off to you for
Thanks.
having a brand that's in high demand. Have you thought of bringing somebody on to help with that demand in a way where that those 2 months out, as far as being booked, actually d- dwindles down to being able to serve clients within a 2 month period to within maybe a 4 week period, and that means bringing somebody else on so you can actually serve people faster, which then leads you to being able to build capacity and build revenue at the same time.
Yeah, of course I have. Right now, I'm just renting a space in a building. So it's kind of hard for me to like bring somebody else on board without having them, work under the actual owner of the building currently. Um, so that's my only problem at this point, which is why I haven't really grown myself in that way. So within the building I'm in, there's about 6 of us. So 5 other RMTs and 1 chiro. And the chiro's the owner. So I'm just renting space off her right now. So if anybody was to come on board, they pretty much work under her. Yeah.
Can you like move? How flexible is it for you to move spaces as far as like where you can rent? Is there an opportunity to find something that would accommodate an additional person?
Right now, my hands are kind of tied because I have so much else going on. I don't want to put too much on my plate. I mean, yes, that would be great, but renting space right now, especially in Brighton, like there isn't a lot of option. So I've kind of just stayed put for the time being. But of course, I'm always looking as well. So yeah, just have to wait and see.
Right. So that would be the next step, really. Like when capacity clears up for
Yeah.
you, like going after a space that's got more room as far as being able to bring somebody in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, COVID has kind of put a little bit of a damper on things too. Like my schooling's delayed, especially because it's in Peel. I can't exactly go up there right now. So my plans are a little bit on hold, but that's life. So everyone's dealing with this differently.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then as far as operating, like geographically, Olivia, like are you kind of I don't want to use the word pigeonholed. Like are you kind of only able to operate within Brighton, or could you do Trenton? Could you do Belleville? Could you do Colburn? Like is there capacity that way, or does it have to kind of be within Brighton to start?
Well, I have clients traveling from like all over. You know, I target obviously Brighton, but I go as far as like Coburg. I've got people coming from Warkworth. I did have a client coming from Napanee at one point, but she realized it was too far for her. As far as me opening something, I guess it'll all depend. Like I said, I've been talking to somebody that I'm hoping to partner with in the next couple of years. And this person, she's hoping to stay within the area. So I'm thinking like Trenton to Brighton is ideal.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah, like I want to get into strategy with you, Olivia, and the only reason I'm kind of still on this topic is because it's seeming blatantly clear to me that you have a pipeline that's working. You mentioned yourself that you're booked 2 months out, which is phenomenal, and all I'm trying to do is to think get us thinking about ways like because that you have the pipeline, you have the customers. It's how can we serve them faster so then
Yeah.
I can grow capacity and grow, and then you can pour more money into marketing because now you have another person on and you can build more people. Like all of your energy and focus, when it lends itself to you, I would focus all of that in looking for real estate that
Yeah.
suits the needs of where I'm hoping to grow next. Because you have the customers, you have the pipeline, all of those things that are in place. You could probably maximize ad spend as more revenue comes in, but that's almost like, to me, in my mind, that's almost secondary to like you have like getting in the building and being like, all right, we're like, and contacting like the customers that are booked out like the month and saying, all right, hey, we can get you in like next week,
Yeah.
and like just like calling everybody who's like, yeah, we can actually get you in this month, and then like max, and then increase the ad spend with the revenue from them, right? Like that's where my mind goes. It's like a trickle effect, but I think it starts with that, with a piece of real estate.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's definitely been on my mind. And like my clients know my plans. Like I have very loyal clients that have been with me since the beginning. Like I've been an RMT now for 5 years. All my clients know my plans and you know what I want to accomplish. everyone's just waiting for me to, become the osteopathic manual practitioner so I can offer that. And they've already told me, like, once you make your next step, we will follow you. So the support system is definitely there. It's just finding, like you said, that piece of real estate that,
I would get a real estate agent that you trust and just
yeah,
say, hey, here's my vision. This is what I want to accomplish. Go forth and conquer. Get them to do the work. Find you a piece of real estate that works best for you. All you have to worry about is signing the dotted line when everything's in place.
yeah, yeah. And like I said, um, I am one to bite off more than I can chew sometimes. And I kind of have to tell myself, you've got so much going on right now. Um, take a moment and breathe, especially like with COVID right now. Like, it's super stressful. I still have at least 2 years of schooling, and that's back and forth to Toronto consistently. So part of me is like, wait a little bit, give yourself at least another year, and then really start like digging into opening a space. But then there's another part of me that's like, just do it now. You've got it in you. But
yeah, like
that,
like it's the number one thing that's like it's shaking me right now, because it's like I want to spend time talking about like what are some ways that we can win more on Instagram or win more on
yeah,
Facebook or win more in Google. But if the bottleneck is the capacity of your space right
mhm,
now, like, are we going to book 3 months out? I would prefer you to shorten it versus lengthen it based on you getting more clients with anything we talk about today.
yeah,
So that's, I mean, it's a wonderful problem to have. Like honestly, like I'm thinking, like, at OSM, like we're in the middle of hiring right now, and it's a like I literally got an email from, like, our project coordinator Rochelle the other day, and she's like, here's kind of like all of the areas of which it would be very, very, helpful to have somebody kind of come in. And like, it was all challenges, Olivia, that
mhm,
they were all real challenges in my business right now. But I looked at that email and I got pumped, because I was just like, this is all fixable, and this is all something that means we have more like like customers, people that are ready for us to serve them, than we
yep,
have personnel to serve them.
hmm,
And that's
for
a
sure.
beautiful problem to have.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
have to, another question though, like, you mentioned you had 2 years of school left. Like, what's the best practice around that? Like, do you need that to be finished in order to open your own practice? Is there any legalities around that?
No, it's just, one less thing to worry about. Like, osteopathy is completely, different from registered massage therapy. So it's just putting another tool in my toolbox. And, like, I'm obviously working, as a business owner, running my own show, and then trying to do grad school at the same time. So I mean, I could totally go ahead and do it right now, but then I just feel like I wouldn't be so focused on my schooling.
You got to
And it
find some people you trust
is,
to
well, I,
do the stuff in your business.
yeah,
Because I'm hearing what you're saying.
yeah,
Doing the school, doing the business, all in like that's a lot.
it is. It is. And it's super overwhelming. And like I said, I do have somebody that I do trust and we get along great. And, right now it's just chit chat, trying to figure out if we're on the same page. But this person is very successful and doing her own thing too. Um, So, it'd be great if our plan does work out. And the other day, I had somebody actually say that they'd be willing to invest in me and find a building that would work for my business. And I just rent space from them. So that was pretty flattering, knowing that people see my worth.
Does
So the
that
support is definitely there. It's just, go ahead.
does that business partner already have like, do they have staff that they could help facilitate what you're trying to do on your end if you were to merge together, or is it just two individuals?
Yeah. So two individuals. She works for herself. She doesn't have anybody working for her right now. But we both kind of have the same goals, which is nice. It's great to like feed off each other and listen. Like we both have some fantastic ideas. And it's super exciting to just think about like what the future could hold.
Got you. And I'm thinking too, like the like what's some work? Let's dig in a little deeper here. Like what's some of the actual work in your business that, like, if you didn't have to do it, like you'd be completely fine with delegating that off. Like I'm talking like, is there an administration, anything outside of like the actual thing that you do that people come to see you for in the background? Is there a lot of that stuff going on that could be delegated?
Well, I do all my own booking, and that
Oh
sometimes I'm
wow, hats off to you.
just like, oh my God, Olivia, like you should have your own receptionist. But then at the same time, it's like I'm a one-man show or one-woman show. So I look at it as I don't really need to have a receptionist right now. I'm pretty good at doing it on my own. I mean, I'm only human. I do make mistakes, but I've been doing it now for 5 years on my own. So I think I've gotten pretty okay at it.
I know
But
you're good at it, but do you
yeah,
want to do it? And will
oh,
that stop you from growth if you continue to do it?
um, I wouldn't say it would stop me from growth. I mean, every year that I've been on my own, like it's gotten better. Like I said, I was at another clinic, got too busy on my own, and decided that I just wanted to be my own boss. And now this year, it's just insane. Like I can't keep up. Um, but going back to the reception, I do think about it, and I have had a couple people say, you probably could use some help. But then again, being under the roof of, you know, a clinic that is owned by a chiropractor, she has her own receptionist, and I could totally use her. But I don't know, I'm so used to just doing my own thing, and that could be a downfall. So
Totally
I'm
get it.
I'm very stubborn.
Listen, I get it. Like we as entrepreneurs, like we love control. We love being able to
Yeah.
have a piece of, like, this is my thing, this is what I do. I totally get that. The question just becomes, if you're thinking like I'm like and I'm going back to goals, like if you're thinking like, I want to eventually, I do want to be in my own space, I do want to have somebody working for me, I potentially want to partner, feeling things out that way. What are some things that could be delegated so that I can focus on, this is like working in the business versus working on the business.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs that are building, medium-sized businesses, they're trying to get to a point where they're working as much on the business as possible versus working in.
Yeah.
That's
I
how
get,
you grow.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I definitely feel like at this point in the game, I need to finish my osteopathy. Like I started it back in 2017 actually, and the program is a minimum of 3 years. And at that point in my life, I didn't feel like I was ready to really like dive in and focus. And I can't even back as to why I was so distracted. But now, like that, I'm doing my own thing, and I'm older, and I'm wanting to continue learning, and I've developed my own practice. I just want to get it done. I want to get it done so that I can offer more to people. And until that time comes, I kind of like have a little bit of a stop sign in front of me. So
Yeah.
it's a hard pill to swallow, but once I get this osteopathy done, I've told myself, like, you're opening a clinic.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. Like the only thing I really want to tell you right now is just spend more money on ads. The funnel's
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
The pipeline's built. It's working.
Yeah. And like I said, I taught myself everything I know. Like, I've had some marketing fails, like things that just did not work for me that I spent a lot of money on, and was kind of like, wow, this did not work. And then I reflected on that. And I've learned, Facebook is the way to go. Google is the way to go. Word of mouth, getting out, networking. I'm out in the community. Like before COVID hit, I was at golf courses. I was, doing trade shows, meeting with other healthcare professionals, like just getting my name out there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, and I don't know all the, like, I don't know how your business works in this sense. Like how far out is realistic to book out?
Like comparing myself to other RMTs, or
Just like for you, like
for me?
how realistic is it, like as far as booking out any more than you're booking out right now? Like does that make sense? Does it not make sense? I don't know if it's
I mean, people are willing to wait, which is pretty cool. Like people, especially that get referred to me and, want me to treat them, they're okay with waiting a month.
okay. So go with me here for a second. If people are so okay, they're okay waiting a month, but like are they okay waiting 3 months, 4 months?
Uh, Probably wouldn't go that far.
Got you.
But
So you're at capacity as far as booking out. Like the 2 months is kind of like that's your limit.
2, 3 months. Yeah. I mean, I've got people that have booked in like the whole year with me. They've just picked their time slot that works for them, and
Hmm.
it's theirs, and I've got like, I work with Veterans Affairs. So I deal with a lot of like military. And these guys get, so many treatments a year. So they pick their time slot and they're just with me every week. So there's that too. Like I said, it goes back. I've got a lot of really loyal clients that believe in
Got you.
me. So it's nice.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Reason I'm asking that question, Olivia, is like I always try to think like, how can I get, um, how can I get like the revenue that I'm
Mhm.
bringing in? How can I get that to a place where I can do some of the things that I want to do? And I
Yeah.
understand that like it's like you're probably what, like a year out from maybe executing on a building, you think,
Um,
or rental space for yourself.
I mean, that's definitely a possibility. Like I said, I've kind of, I've got this other person that would like to come on board with me. And I have to consider this person's, um, business as well, and where she stands currently.
Who
Um,
approached who?
Pardon?
Who approached who?
um, Good question. You know what? I think it was just one of those relationships where you meet someone and you just know that they're meant to help you grow.
Got you.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
synergy.
yeah, yeah. It, and like she hasn't, she's only had her business, for a couple, I think it's 2 years now. And me, I've been in the game for 5 years. And I can honestly say, like, she is the first professional where I'm just like, wow, like, we could do amazing together. Like, we could create something like unique and offer, like, the best, services we possibly can as a team.
The stuff
So,
that she's got going on right now, like the stuff that we're talking about, like where is she into as an individual in her path as far as like the stuff that we're talking about? Like, does she have kind of like the extracurricular stuff like school on her plate? Like, how available is she for this partnership if this is to go come to fruition?
she's, well, we both kind of, we just got new homes, like, so she's got that she's working on. And of course, you know, getting her 2 feet on the ground as well. So we kind of have the same issues going on as far as priorities. We just want to get certain things, done before we really start thinking about our next step. I mean, we're constantly chit chatting, like constantly. Um, so I mean, that's good. But there again, like, I I don't want to just assume things are going to happen.
Sure,
Like,
I got you. I got you. Olivia, if you like, if I told you right now that like, say you have capacity, say you can like, or actually, let's take a step back. If I came on this call and said to you like, you have a pipeline that works, you need to spend more money on ads, and I asked you the question, do you have capacity for more business? What would your answer be?
well, I'm a workaholic, so I definitely sometimes I work. A lot of people say I work too much. Going back to the capacity thing, I don't like to say no to people. And but if I had to say, if I had to pick between yes or no, I'd probably say yes. I am at capacity.
That's the
Yeah.
vibe I've gotten from the moment we stepped on this call. That's why I wanted to stay on the business, because that's the only thing holding you back from us having the further conversation about ad strategy. How do we optimize those ads? How can we take that to the
Yeah.
next level? How can we broaden and make contextual content for the different demographics of which you serve? Because that would be another recommendation that I would make. The
Mhm.
creative itself, going into who you're targeting, and then split testing across the board, maybe 3, 4, 5 ads running at the same time, optimizing those, seeing which one works best, and then doubling down on the ones that work. That's what I would be recommending to you, but I can't make that recommendation if you're at
No.
capacity. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
until the capacity is um until the capacity lifts and then
Mhm.
there's an opening,
Yeah.
you're kind of, you don't want to put too much more on yourself because the infrastructure is not there yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make
And that's,
sense?
oh, absolutely. I know that I'm at that point currently. And like I said, just having so much else going on in life right now, it's sometimes a tough pill to swallow that, I could make that next step, but is it the right step to make at this point? Like, I know how I am as a person, and if I started that project right now, other things might be affected, such as my schooling. So yeah, it's tough, but I know that I will accomplish it, even if it takes me a little bit longer than I'd like.
Here's the positive side, Olivia, because as much as like we're talking about like maybe not being able to do something right now. It's not necessarily a bad thing. And here's the flip side to it. You're in a position in business where you're booked 2 months out. You're not concerned about where your next client is coming from, which is more often than you think the conversation that I would have with a business owner. It's too little, too late. They start thinking about marketing, and
Yeah.
you're at a point where it's quite the opposite. You're booking people, you're pre-booking, 2 months out. So that's a very, very positive thing. And you already have these things spinning in your mind. Nothing I've said on this call to you is new or something that you haven't really thought about or hasn't entered into your, space of thought. I'm just bringing it up because that's the next step. But to your point, once those things clear up from your plate, the school and that, and you got to make some decisions. The only thing that I would say as an encouragement or even a recommendation, if the desire is to start things up sooner than later, and only you can answer that question, how much can I delegate to get this going? And how comfortable am I with not being in the whole picture as it's moving? You might have to take a step back to take a step forward. And what I mean by that is getting people involved that you trust to carry out the infrastructure that you're needing to get to that next space, but then being comfortable enough to take a step back and say, no, no, you got that. I'll take a, pay cut, whatever, run with it. This is my timeline. I'll meet you on the other side. And by the way, now we have a thriving business that's maximizing in capacity month over month over month. You
Hmm.
just might have to take a step back if you want to accomplish that sooner.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. The problem with me, and I'm not afraid to admit it, is I like being in control.
That's the piece. That's the
Yeah.
piece. We love it as entrepreneurs, but it's the number one thing standing in our way of growth.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like I said, with this person that I'm talking to, and you know, a couple other people that kind of mentioned some things that, they could, potentially help me out with my next step. Like, I'm pursuing that. I'm keeping it in the back of my head and hoping that, they will stay on board.
You're
But yeah.
gonna get to where you want to go regardless, Olivia. And I hope you know, I know you know that. Like you're gonna get to where you want to go regardless. And the speed of which you get there is entirely within your control.
Yeah.
Entirely. And
Yeah.
it's gonna work out either way. Either way, it's gonna work out.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And that's like I try to be so practical, and I was like, I'm like, there's no sense talking about strategy when the business part is like that's the exciting ball in the air right now, if you will. Like I got shivers. And when you started talking about capacity and being booked out 2 months, I'm like, okay, no, we're gonna spend time talking about this because that's that's the answer.
Yeah.
Capacity. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Ad spend and maximizing and split all of that, that'll come. The answer right now for you is capacity. And you get to decide when you're ready to take that step.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I will say too, like, with the pandemic, it is a little bit scary to, think about something, that big. That's a huge step. And, there's still a lot of unknown with it. So I'm kind of on a little bit of a leash with my decisions. But yeah, I do
Like a
know that,
like
like,
a self not inflicted, but a self-created leash, or from other people within your inner circle?
Both. Both. I
Hmm.
mean, I have a partner that travels 70% of the time, in normal circumstances, with his career. So I have to think about him as well. There's lots to think about right now. Lots. There's a lot of transition going on. But it's exciting at the same time. It would be boring if things were just constantly the same. I like
100%.
I like a little bit of a challenge.
I
So
could tell you do. I,
yeah, yeah. So but
well,
things always work out. So
absolutely. I mean, and if this call's confirmed anything for me, it's confirmed that, like, the future the future is bright, Olivia.
oh thanks.
The future is bright. Yeah, what you got going on in here, like, some things are going to be, I'm expecting to see some really neat things happening over the next 2-3 years in your ventures.
Fingers crossed.
I don't have to cross them, it's happening.
Thanks. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's great to hear that. It really is. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's, if there's anything that does come up for you, like, even on the organic side, I mean, I'd probably spend more time there. Like, if there's opportunities for OSM to help in that capacity, as far as maybe even taking something off your plate from that capacity. But as far as like ad spend and paid media goes, I'm gonna lay off that, and until that capacity goes up, and the intake is ready to grow.
Yeah, well, I'll continue looking to you for advice. I had it was Luke that I think
Oh
you
yeah,
sent
Luke,
his yeah. So he kind of told me the same thing. I just kind of need to figure out my thoughts. Yeah.
you will, you will. But in the meantime, like, don't um, don't look at it as weakness at all, or have any FOMO around um, surrendering a piece of what you do that isn't, you know the meat and potatoes of it,
Yeah.
um, because that might actually lead you to just being able to double down on the thing that actually brings you the most joy in what you do.
Yeah.
Olivia, I don't want to keep you much longer. Anything else I can answer for you today?
No, it was a very good conversation.
It
It's
was.
some it's nice to talk to somebody with the experience because, as an entrepreneur, like you can get down on yourself. I definitely have gotten down on myself, and it's, why can't I do this right now? And maybe I did this the wrong way. And should I have gone back to school? There's just so many thoughts that run through your head. So sometimes it's comforting to speak to somebody that believes in you. So
100%. And I don't know if you've linked over to Network BOQ, but I'll send you some information after this call. I think you would enjoy those meetings if you're available at 8 a.m. Biweekly on Mondays. There's a lot of support and encouragement that you're talking about in those meetings. I think you'd enjoy it.
yeah, I'd love that.
Fantastic. All right, I'll send you over some information. Olivia, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Honestly, I wish you the best. Like,
Thank you
you're
so much. Same to you.
absolutely,
Same to
absolutely.
you. You're doing wonderful things for people like me. So it's great.
I
It's really,
appreciate it.
yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You take
Take
care.
care. Bye.
Bye.